Hello students, today we are going to start the chapter Migration. Through this chapter, we will be able to learn what is migration, the causes of migration, the effects of migration, what are the different types of migration, the impacts of migration, and brain drain, the causes and impacts of brain drain. Now, first of all, let's see what do you understand by the word migration. Migration means movement from one place to another. To move, to migrate. Movement of people from their home to another city, state, or country for a job or shelter is called migration. So migration is what? Migration is the movement of people from where? From their home. To where? To another city or state. And for what? For job, for shelter. This is migration. Migration is a way to move from one place to another, to live and work in better surroundings. So what is migration? Migration is a way to move from one place to another. And why do we move from one place to another? To work in a better surrounding, to live in a better surrounding. It is influenced by social, cultural, and economic and political factors. Migration is affected by many factors. What are those factors? Social, cultural, economic, and political factors. Now, people who move from one place to another in search of work or shelter are called migrants. Now, who are migrants? The people who migrate. The people who migrate from their home to other city, to other state, or to other country in search of better living condition, in search of better job, they are called migrants, or more specifically, emigrants. Now, who are emigrants? Who leave their own country in order to settle permanently in another country. Those people are called emigrants. Immigrants or settlers, depending on the historical setting, circumstances, and perspective. Okay, now the people who migrate from one place to another, they are called migrants. They are also called emigrants, immigrants, or settlers. Depending on what? Depending on the historical setting or the condition, the circumstance on which they are migrating. Human migration, initiated for whatever reason, has affected the grand epoch in history, changing forever the demographic landscape of lands throughout the world, bringing on some occasions, innovations, and mutual benefits, and on other time, destruction and suffering. So migration has started. Initiated means it has started for whatever reason, has affected the grand epoch in history. Epoch means a particular period of time in history. So migration has always affected the time in history. In what way has it affected? How has it affected the time in history? It has changed the demographic landscape of lands. It has changed the demographic conditions of the land. What is demographic? Demographic is relating to the structure of population. Okay, so migration has started long back and it has changed, it has affected the times in history. Epoch means time period in history. Changing, how has it affected? It has affected by changing the demographic landscape of lands throughout the world, bringing on some occasions. At some time, migration has brought innovation and mutual benefits, and sometimes it has brought destruction and suffering. So migration sometimes has brought innovation and mutual benefits, and on the other times it has also brought destruction and suffering. A few examples of migration. Between 1846 and 1940, mass migration occurred worldwide. Some 55 million of migrants moved from Europe to America, and an additional 2.5 million moved from Asia to America. Transitional labor migration reached a peak of 3 million migrants per year in the early 20th century. These large migration flows influence the process of nation-state formation in many ways. The 20th century also experienced an increase in migratory flows caused by war and politics, with large number of refugees fleeing their homelands. About 400,000 Jews moved to Palestine in 20th century. The Russian Civil War caused some 3 million Russians, Poles and Germans to migrate out of Soviet Union. World War II and decolonization also caused migrations. So these are the different examples of large-scale migration which happened long back in 1846 and 1940, between 1846 and 1940. It also happens in the early 20th century. People, they migrated from all over the world, right? People, they moved from Europe to America, from Asia to America. And here the people, because of war and politics, they migrated. Now, what are the causes of migration? Nowadays, many people decide to migrate to have a better life. Employment opportunities are the most common reason due to which people migrate. Except this, lack of opportunities, better education, construction of dams, globalization, natural disasters, that is flood and drought, and sometimes crop failure force villagers to migrate to cities. So the main reason here which is given that the people migrate in search of better life, better living condition, better employment opportunities, that is better jobs. Migration shows the trends of social change. From the historical viewpoint, during the process of industrialization and economic development, people migrate from farm to industries, from villages to cities, from one city to another, and from one country to another. So this is the trend of migration, moving from a lesser developed region to more developed region, moving from a village to a city, from a farmland to industries. In modern times, technological changes are taking place in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, and USA, due to which these regions are witnessing large-scale migration from rural to urban areas. Now, what is leading to the migration from rural to urban areas? The technological changes. The changes in the technology in the continents like Asia, Africa, Latin America, they are leading to migration from rural to urban areas. The causes of migration can be seen as series of push and pull factors. Series of push and pull factors. Those factors which either forcefully push someone into migration or attract them. If you don't have a very good living condition in the place where you are already living, so that will be a push factor for you to migrate to some place where you will have better living condition. So poor living condition is a push factor. It is pushing you away. And better living condition is a pull factor. It is pulling you towards itself. So let's see the push factors. A push factor is a forceful factor and a factor which relates to a country the person is migrating from. It is generally a problem. So the push factor, what is it? It is a problem which results in people wanting to leave. So push factors, they are the problems. The problems where the people are living. The people are facing those problems, and these problems, they force the people to leave. Now, different types of push factors include poor medical care, not enough jobs, drought or natural disasters, loss of wealth, fear or torture, high rate of crime, and lacking safety. Political fear and religious factors. Political fear includes the race discrimination and persecution of people. Now, these are all the problems which people may face at the place where they are living. And these problems, they act as a push factor. They act as a factor which forces the people to migrate from their place to some other place where they have better conditions. Let's see the pull factor. A pull factor is something concerning the country a person migrates to. Now, push factor was the factor related to the country the person is migrating from. Push factor is the factor which is related to the country or the place from where the person is moving out. And pull factor is related. It is the factor of the place or the country to which the person is going, to which the person is moving in. A pull factor is something concerning the country a person migrates to. Some of the pull factors are chances of getting better job, better living condition, comfortable geographical and climatic conditions, better educational opportunities, better medical care, security, social as well as religious, better infrastructure of transport and other social benefits, and family links. So these are the conditions which pulls a person towards itself, leading the person to migrate to that place.